Welcome back to my channel, my spooky friends. Tonight we delve into the unsettling realm where the digital world collides with ancient evils. We're talking about towns that have severed all ties with technology, not out of choice, but out of a chilling necessity. These are places where the hum of electronics is replaced by an unsettling silence, where the glow of screens is traded for flickering candlelight, places where the past refuses to stay buried and whispers through the wind. Join me as we uncover the stories of three towns swallowed by darkness, based on real places but twisted by the tendrils of horror. These are their tales, and once you hear them, you might just find yourself sleeping with the lights on. Our journey begins in the isolated hamlet of Ravenswood, nestled deep within a valley perpetually shrouded in mist. Ravenswood wasn't always a stranger to progress. In fact, it was once a bustling hub for the textile industry, its factories powered by the rushing waters of the Blackwater River. But the river that breathed life into Ravenswood would soon become a source of dread. It began subtly strange humming noises emanating from the riverbed, flickering lights in the homes perched along its banks. Then came the accidents. A worker dragged into the churning water by an unseen force, his screams swallowed by the roar of the current, a fire erupting in the largest mill, consuming it in a matter of hours. The townsfolk, hardened by generations of toil, dismissed these events as unfortunate mishaps, until the phones went dead. One by one, every line in Ravenswood went silent. The silence broken only by the cawing of the ravens that seemed to multiply with each passing day. Then came the night the children went missing. 5 of them vanished without a trace from their beds, their rooms left in a state of disarray that chilled the townsfolk to the bone. The only clue, muddy raven footprints on their windowsills and an unsettling silence emanating from the river. Panic gripped Ravenswood. Theories ran rampant, each more outlandish than the last. Some blamed a vengeful spirit residing within the river, angered by the town's industrial ambitions. Others whispered of a malevolent force drawn to the electrical currents coursing through the town's veins. Desperate, the townsfolk turned to an old hermit who lived on the outskirts of Ravenswood, a woman known only as Old Maggie. Maggie, her eyes clouded with a wisdom born of solitude, claimed the river had become a conduit, a gateway for something ancient and hungry. The technology, she said, acted as a beacon, drawing it closer. Following Maggie's advice, the townsfolk made a chilling pact. They would sever their ties with the modern world, dismantle every piece of technology, and plunge Ravenswood into a self-imposed darkness. The factories were shuttered, the telephone poles chopped down, even the simplest electrical appliances were cast into the river. And just as suddenly as it began, the terror ceased. The children, however, were never found. Ravenswood still stands today, a ghost of its former self, frozen in a time before the digital age. The ravens still circle overhead, their watchful eyes a constant reminder of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface, waiting for the day technology returns to Ravenswood. Now let's journey to Black Hollow, a town nestled deep within a sprawling forest in the American heartland. Black Hollow was a place of whispers long before the silence fell, a place where secrets clung to the trees like morning mist. The residents of Black Hollow had always embraced a simpler way of life, but they were not completely averse to the allure of technology. That is, until the screens began to bleed. What started as a flickering anomaly in a handful of television sets soon spread like a virus through the town. Static morphed into distorted images, grotesque figures with hollow eyes and twisted smiles that seemed to watch the viewers with unsettling intent. Then came the voices, whispers at first, seeping from radios and telephones even when unplugged, uttering names, dates, and chilling threats that sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to listen. Panic swelled within the community. People abandoned their homes, seeking solace in the company of their neighbors, only to find the phenomena followed them, seeping from car radios, battery-powered toys, even the humming of fluorescent lights. The townsfolk, desperate for answers, turned to their oldest resident, a reclusive woodcarver named Silas Blackwood. Silas, his weathered face etched with the stories of the forest, claimed the town had attracted unwanted attention. Technology, he explained, was like a siren song to these entities, a way for them to pierce the veil and reach into their world. Silas proposed a radical solution, a complete and utter banishment of technology. Every television, radio, phone, computer, anything that could act as a conduit was to be destroyed or removed from the town's borders. It was a difficult decision, a sacrifice of their connection to the outside world, but the residents of Black Hollow were left with little choice. The alternative was simply too terrifying to contemplate. The bonfire that consumed Black Hollow's technology raged for days, the flames casting dancing shadows that seemed to writhe with a life of their own. With the last of the electronics reduced to ash, an unsettling calm descended upon Black Hollow. The whispers ceased, the distorted images vanished, and the shadows seemed to retreat back into the trees. Today, Black Hollow remains shrouded in an almost unnatural silence. The townsfolk, bound by their shared experience, cling to their traditions, wary of anything that might disrupt the fragile peace they have carved out for themselves. But beneath the surface, a sense of unease lingers, a knowledge that the eyes in the static are always watching, waiting for the opportunity to return. Our final destination brings us to Silent Ridge, a once thriving mining town nestled high in the Colorado Rockies. Silent Ridge embraced technology, its residents relying on modern machinery to extract the riches hidden within the heart of the mountain. The mine, a labyrinth of tunnels and shafts, had always been a source of both prosperity and unease for the miners. Strange noises echoed from its depths, metallic groans, disembodied whispers, and the feeling of being watched. But the promise of riches often outweighed the fear that clung to the miners like coal dust. Then came the cave-in. A tremor, deeper and more violent than any before, shook the mountain to its core, trapping a group of miners miles beneath the surface. Frantic rescue efforts commenced, but the earth seemed determined to keep its prisoners. Communication with those trapped below was impossible. Radios crackled with static, phone lines went dead, and even the most sophisticated drilling equipment malfunctioned. Days turned into weeks, and hope dwindled with each passing hour. It was then that the dreams began. Townsfolk, particularly those who had loved ones trapped in the mine, were plagued by vivid nightmares. Visions of a subterranean city, lit by an eerie, pulsating light, and populated by shadowy figures with eyes that glowed like hot coals. The figures spoke of a sacrifice, a price to be paid for disturbing their domain. A chilling realization gripped the community. The mine wasn't just a source of wealth, it was a gateway to something ancient and malevolent. Desperate to appease this unseen force, the town elders made a drastic decision. They would silence the mountain. All mining operations ceased. Equipment was powered down, lights were extinguished, and even the simplest tools were removed from the mine, leaving it shrouded in an eerie silence. Slowly, the nightmares subsided. The trapped miners, however, were never recovered. Today, Silent Ridge stands as a stark reminder of the price of progress. The mine entrance is sealed, a concrete tomb marking the resting place of the missing miners and the gateway to a world best left undisturbed. No one dares to break the silence, fearing the consequences of waking the entity that slumbers beneath the mountain. Some say on quiet nights, if you press your ear to the ground, you can still hear the faint echoes of pickaxes striking stone, a ghostly symphony from a time when Silent Ridge dared to challenge the darkness. But be warned, listen too closely, and you might just hear the whispers in return, beckoning you to join them in their eternal silence. 3 towns forever scarred by their encounters with the unknown: Ravenswood, Black Hollow, Silent Ridge, each a chilling reminder that some lines are not meant to be crossed, some technologies better left undisturbed. Their stories serve as a chilling reminder that, in our pursuit of progress, we sometimes stumble upon things best left buried, forces that exist beyond the realm of our understanding. So the next time your phone flickers with static or your computer screen displays a distorted image, remember these tales. Thank you for joining me on this unsettling journey. If you enjoyed this descent into darkness, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow horror enthusiasts, and subscribe for more chilling tales from the shadows. Remember, keep your lights on and sleep tight. You never know what might be listening from the static.